Diddy's life inside NYC hellhole jail.
Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, or should we say inmate 37452-054, is facing a living nightmare at New York's Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. A jail described as hell on earth. Violence, drug use, threats to life, and shared showers. No, we're not talking about Diddy's freak-offs. This is just another brutal day inside MDC. In today's episode of the Infographics Show, we'll explore Diddy's new home and his life inside NYC's hellhole jail. Diddy is currently living the counter-life to his hyper-luxurious existence that came crashing to an end in September 2024, when he was charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and the creation of a criminal enterprise, which included reams of sexual offenses against women. Diddy rapped his way into stardom in the 90s, eventually racking up a net worth of around $1 billion through music, fashion, restaurants, vodka, and TV. In his prime, he held so-called white parties where a who's who of fame and fortune had the opportunity to snort rails from the tanned bodies of call girls. These X-rated shindigs had an adult-only element where guests could indulge their most lurid fantasies. These were marathon orgies where the escorts servicing the VIPs would have to use intravenous drips to recover from days of non-stop sex and rampant drug use. Diddy is now doing hard time in a Spartan prison cell at the MDC, where the only white lines he sees are the ones he's told to stand behind as he strips and is ordered to drop and cough. As the most high-profile prisoner in the USA, everything he does is strictly monitored. His every move is recorded. He can't scratch his nose without someone watching. And you can be sure he won't end up sharing a cell with a muscular thug with hands big enough to screw off human heads. Diddy is currently being held in the Special Housing Unit, aka the SHU, a 23-hour lockdown part of the prison. That means he's purposefully being kept away from the general population, which according to a former warden is because he wouldn't last a minute in the main part of the jail. Not only is he charged with sex crimes, but killing Diddy, according to this warden, will bestow an inmate a badge of honor. Diddy is a dead man walking if anyone can actually get to him. At the very least, he'll have to pay millions in protection money. The question is, can they get to him? We'll come back to this topic soon, but first let's examine his day-to-day existence in a jail that sits somewhere within the seventh circle of hell, the violent part. Wake-up call is 6 a.m. on the dot, when Diddy will open his eyes to 4 bare walls. He probably isn't getting much sleep. The SHU is quiet during the night, but the occasional scream will no doubt wake him from his nightmares. It is also very uncomfortable sleeping without a pillow on a 1.5-inch mattress. This is a man whose $40 million 10-bedroom home, just one of his homes, had a theater, a spa, a beauty salon, and a pool connected to an underground water tunnel. There's likely no natural light in his cell, just a strip light above the furnishings of an iron bed bolted to the floor, next to an all-in-one ensuite sink and toilet. He spends 23 hours a day in this cell. His family has been allowed to see him, and his lawyer has been visiting, but the majority of his days are just him and those 4 walls, plus the odd visit from Kenny the Cockroach. Yes, he probably names them. That's the kind of thing men do in isolation.
Yo, I thought that shit was on my screen. I'm like, whoa.
Kenny the Cockroach. Yes, he probably names them. That's the kind of thing men do in isolation. He's expected to make his bed every day after he awakes, to mop the floor and keep his toilet and sink clean. No doubt he is grateful for these cleaning duties that give him something to do. It might be humiliating for a man who had hordes of household staff, but the alternative is going insane from inactivity. Each morning he receives his breakfast through a small hole in the door. There will be no caviar on offer, but there will be powdered scrambled eggs.
Fact, 93.3% of New York inmates say they skip meals because of the poor food quality. 93? Damn.
Cheap white bread, milk, and sweet juice. This is one of 3 meals each day, which all added up by law should give him at least 1,800 calories. One of the problems with this SHU is when he finally gets his meal, it won't be very hot. He's gone from spending $3,000 on a single meal in New York to eating cold hot dogs made from muscle and sinew. With each jail meal typically costing $3 to $4, he'll have to get used to mystery meat and maybe the odd surprise dish. An MDC prisoner recently complained about maggots in his food. Still, Diddy has plenty of cash, and he has access to the commissary, where he can buy candy, coffee, tea, and other food treats, and likely clothes.
A 6-pack of Snickers, $1 each? Damn, just over $5.50. Radio with headphones, $50. Good invest. $85. You gotta pay for toothbrushes? Damn. If you go to jail, bro, damn. Mirror, 260 ibuprofen.
Clothes or a radio. The maximum he'll be able to spend is $160 every 2 weeks. Not much for a man who owned a $500,000 diamond-studded gold chain. He might spend a lot of time reading, although there's limited access to the library for SHU prisoners. If he is reading, it's likely material found in the jail's TrueLinks electronic law library. Still, a prisoner recently said resources are really bad in the MDC. Forget about your constitutional rights, he said. Human rights here are a problem. Diddy gets 3 showers a week, which will be taken by himself in showers that inmates have said are
3 showers a week? That can't, bro. That's not possible, bro. They can't limit you on showers, bro. What if I want to take a shower every day? I can't. I just got, bro. That's crazy. Every other day, bro. Damn.
Are full of mold. It's likely Diddy, a man who is used to the finer things in life, is now familiar with the scent that fills a badly ventilated room when large logs of fecal matter don't flush properly. There were recently 800 work orders for repair and infrastructure at the MDC in the space of a month, and plumbing was one of the issues that needed to be fixed. Let's now imagine Diddy was in general population. This has been called hell on earth since it was opened in 1994. In recent years, it's been known for brutal assaults. Reports say prisoners receive inadequate supervision and insufficient medical care. An inmate reported people get stabbed at least a couple of times a week in a jail where inmates have homemade knives that are 6 to 9 inches long. Not long ago, an inmate was stabbed multiple times. Instead of receiving medical care, he got a 25-day lockdown. Another prisoner was stabbed to death. This happened in a jail where 6 staff members were fired over the last 5 years for doing shady business with the prisoners, which, according to a current inmate, means bringing in phones, the drugs, the razors, the scalpels. It's even said that some of the correction officers are gang members. It's so incredibly violent in the MDC that judges have been reluctant to send men there. Still, they don't have many options since the Metropolitan Correctional Center was shut down, mostly because of what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. If the same happens to Diddy, you can be sure heads will roll. So, is he completely safe? It depends. Just before we started making this video, it was reported he'd left his total isolation and was shacked up in a dorm with the former crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried. But this is just a rumor. It's hard to know because the Bureau of Prisons says it does not provide information about conditions of confinement, and it definitely won't talk about security. But we do know from Diddy's lawyers that life in the jail is not ideal. They recently called the conditions horrific, attempting to get Diddy out on bail with a $50 million bond, but the judge refused, so it looks as though he is staying put. How will everything work out for Diddy? If it's true he is in a dorm, he'll be experiencing 24-hour paranoia, sleeping with one eye open, watching every move of every man. He might be living with guys who, like him, require protective custody. But that doesn't mean any of the 18 to 20 of them in that dorm won't be dangerous. A few of them, like Diddy, will be in for sex-related offenses. And we're talking about a man worth hundreds of millions, so we can expect Diddy will be paying some serious money to help him stay alive. But let's not forget that a person is innocent until proven guilty. Diddy's lawyers recently said that their client has been looking forward to clearing his name, and he is going to clear his name. And if he doesn't, his name is soon going to be landing on the lips of men who have nothing to lose, and maybe something to gain. And that's why it's almost certain if he's found guilty, he'll spend much of the remainder of his life in a protective custody unit, where he'll have lots of opportunities to discuss freak-offs with men of the predatory kind who made freak-offs their life's work. Now you need to watch Inescapable Cell, designed specifically for one prisoner.
Nah. This shit is crazy, bro. Nah, how the fuck this shit get almost 1 million views in 2 days, bro? Look at his description. Nah, what? Really, bro? I bet you wouldn't like to wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy anymore. Hey, what song was that? Is that Carly Rae Jepsen? Something like that?